Hey, what's up everyone? Today I am doing the undercoating under the car. I'm gonna start on the wheel wells in the front, and then I'm gonna work my way back to doing under, and then all the way back underneath the gas tank and everything before I start putting anything back on the car. I'm also changing my trailing arm bushings. They're not really dead, but I see some cracks in them, so this is like the perfect opportunity to take them off the car and get them changed out. Of course, I'm doing hard race on those. I'm also going to be doing my tie rods. When I'm putting the car back together, I am touching everything. Like, I'm refreshing everything because this is the perfect opportunity that the car is totally torn apart and it is a complete shell. As you can see, I have it taped off and I have plastic over it because I do not want that undercoating stuff to get anywhere on the paint itself. You can see that. It is called Boom Mat. It is a thermal acoustic control, which is supposed to help with acoustics, which is sound, and also thermal, which is heat. Now that the car is going to be gutted, I do not want inside of the car to be hot, so I'm doing all of the prep and like everything that I can do under the car to prevent any heat from the exhaust and the engine bay to come inside of the car. That's what I'm doing. This stuff is a spray can, which I really wish that it came in a like a roll-on or brush-on version, because when you're spraying things you have to be like extra careful and tape off everything so that it does not get oversprayed. It's extra time for the prep and everything like that, but I do not want this stuff to get anywhere on this fresh paint. So yeah, join me while I spend my weekend getting this stuff on the underside of the car. Pretty much done with the undercoating under the car, and I got the trailing arms out, changed the bushings, and I decided that I am going to drop the subframe because it needs to be painted. I have painted it before on the inside of the car, and I really want it to be like restored back to what it was when it was brand new in 1997. When I drop the subframe, I can also paint underneath of the subframe in some tight, hard to reach areas that I couldn't reach very well when I was spraying that undercoating. So that'll kind of help me to finish off underneath there and clean it up. So once I drop that subframe, then I will be able to reach them, and then the undercoating will be all done. This is what I'm talking about with the subframe. So it's like chipped up here. This, I guess there was water sitting on here, so that's rusty. Here, like I have tried to paint it in the car before. It's just really hard to tape it off. So down underneath there, when the subframe is in, it's kind of hard to reach underneath there. So once I get it out, I can do underneath there with the undercoating. So since I decided to drop the subframe to paint it, I have decided to change the entire rack. I actually have a brand new steering rack, so I'm gonna use the new rack and put the hard race inner and outer tie rods on the brand new rack. I mean, now is the perfect time because putting the car back together, when I'm done, I'm going to need to get it aligned. So perfect opportunity. Like, you might keep hearing me say that everything at this point is a perfect opportunity because the car is totally torn apart. It all has to go back together. So why not do it now, right? The subframe out. That's what it looks like up underneath there. I'm gonna have to touch up some paint under there. And here's a subframe. It's dirty. It's got orange paint all over. There's rust. So I'm going to clean it up real good and then paint it. And I also have the trailing arms here, new trailing arm bushings, and I'm gonna clean these up as well and paint them also. And this is the paint that I'm gonna be using. This paint comes in 2 different finishes. This is the satin black. It also does come in gloss black, and I had bought this one time and I really liked it, and then I made the mistake and bought the gloss one because I thought there was only one of this. You know, I didn't know it came in different finishes, and I used it and I was like, oh, I hate this paint. It sucks because it was so glossy. And then I figured out that they have the satin black, so I was happy to find that. And so this is what I'm going to be using on the subframe, and also this little brace and the trailing arms over there. So I use this paint on these arms when I change these out to those hard race lower control arms. You can see the finish on it is like factory black satin, you know, for all of the arms that go underneath the car. And I'm actually going to paint the knuckles as well because they are looking like a rusty color. And I'm gonna paint these forks, the strut forks. I'm gonna paint those too. So I gotta clean those up first, then I will paint them. Here's the trailing arms and the subframe underneath there. They're drying. I'm probably gonna end up putting them back on. I don't know how I feel about doing it today. I think I might actually let them dry longer because when I'm handling them to put them back up, I don't want anything to chip off. So I'm gonna give it time to harden. I'm finally done and it's looking pretty good. So let me show you. So that's how it turned out. I like it. It's got a sheen to it. It's not totally like matte. So I think that it'll be easy to clean if it gets dusty. There's the other side.
This under here is actually freehand. I took a brush and I lined off that because that curve there would have been very difficult to get with using tape. And I also did all under here, all underneath here. So it's like basically all done underneath there. There is no missed spots. It came out really good. I'm actually pretty proud with the way that it came out. And just knowing that everything under there is coated, like everything. Subframe was off, so I was able to get all up underneath there. So yeah, now it's time to put back in all the suspension parts, which they have all been painted. And they're nice and fresh, so everything will be nice and fresh going back in.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud with how it came out. I was a little unsure because I've never used that stuff before, but it turned out pretty good, so I'm happy.